morning, everybody. This is Allison, and this is my life after 50. Today, I thought I would talk to you about 10 things that have changed my life over the past 20-ish years. And I did make notes so that hopefully I can stay on track without going too far off topic, so that this isn't a 20-hour video. But these aren't in any particular order, but the first thing that changed my life drastically was my weight loss. I had very unexpected outcomes from my weight loss. I had surgery back about 20 years ago, and it had unexpected outcomes because I had to learn to live without my food addiction. I didn't really think food was an addiction, but I soon found out it was, because nobody tells you that when you lose your weight, you're going to lose your best friend. Because when everybody is celebrating, what are you going to celebrate with? Or when you get sad news or you're upset, what are you going to rely on? I always went to food. I always hid behind food. And I had this weight loss surgery, and then I didn't have that thing to go to. And a lot of people will, what we call it in psychology, is transfer addiction. Fortunately, I didn't really have a transfer addiction. I just muddled my way through it. And, I lost a lot of friends because my depression creeped in. Another big thing people don't talk about is your brain doesn't catch up with your body. So every time I would look in the mirror, I would still see a 320-pound person, and my weight was coming off very fast. And that's why some people go to the other extreme and then start having food issues about not wanting to eat. Your brain just doesn't catch up. And I still have that problem today, where sometimes I still buy extra large clothes. My kids yell at me, but I still think that, oh, my arms are too big, or I don't see myself as that larger person. That weight loss sent me to realize that I wanted to become a counselor. So in my 40s, I went back to school to get my master's in counseling so that I could help other people who have gone through this journey realize that it's more than just weight loss. It's about your life, and that there's things underneath the surface, and it's not just about eating your food. So that was a positive thing that came out of it after all of the things I had to struggle with. Second thing that changed my life was a diagnosis of Parkinson's. That was obviously unexpected. Parkinson's is a type of disease that is not fully diagnosable. What I mean is, you can't have a blood test to say that you have it, or there's no test to say that it's definitely that. It's a disease that they have to rule everything out. So I have 2 out of 3 doctors saying yes, and 1 doctor saying, it could be. I've just learned that I'm not interested in it. It's not going to change my life anymore. Whether I have it or I don't have it, I'm not searching for answers, because the outcome is going to be the same, no matter what anybody says. I just know what I'm living with: the tremors, the falling. It has brought me to awareness of how precious life can be. I've fallen so many times and had concussions and had my head stapled. My cognitive decline happens faster than I'd like to admit. I don't remember things that I've said, more of short-term memory. I've gotten pretty good at hiding that. My YouTube channel helps me because my daughters don't fully understand how my biggest fear is that they won't remember this part of me. And I want them to always know this part of me, because I won't know what that part ultimately looks like if I do full on lose my memory. And so this kind of documents the funny things that I do, the silly things that I say, the inability to learn how to edit or do all the fun things that you guys do out there. The third thing was becoming a counselor. I'm an empath all the way through, and I feel others' feelings. As I stated, I got depression after my weight loss. I had postpartum depression after having my babies. And my depression led to anxiety. So I live with mental illness, and I try to live in a mental health state. And it really helps me as a counselor to be able to relate to people. It helped me have a job that I wanted. I used to teach the police departments how to de-escalate mental health calls. That was probably one of my best jobs until COVID hit. The fourth thing that I've learned is learning to let my kids make their own decisions, and not talking to me, and I don't know why. We've always had a very open communication. I was not really a helicopter mom. One of my children I kind of needed to have to be, because she would derail if my husband and I weren't on top of things. But my other two kids made decisions, wise decisions to keep themselves. They had goals, they had, I'm proud to say now that all three of them have come out to be wonderfully healthy, beautiful adults, going to be parents, and it's just a wonderful thing to see. But it hurts to let them go, and not always understanding why I'm not being let in on their lives. But I've learned that I can move on and live the last leg of this journey in my life with my husband, and just making sure that they know how I feel about them. Via writing in a journal, via documenting things on my YouTube channel, going to counseling. I might be a counselor, but the best counselors have a counselor. But it really helps release that anxiety of wanting to be a part of my kids' lives, and sometimes they don't let me in, and I don't know why. And I think that's what hurts the most, is not knowing why, when I feel that I've done everything I can. The fifth thing is being a sandwich generation. I don't know if you've heard a lot about that, but a sandwich generation is the generation where the family is very important to me. And so I am at that point where my husband and I were hoping to retire. But as most of you know, we're in a struggling point right now, needing to work for insurance. But we have kids that we've raised, and they're pretty much on their own for the most part. I still have a college student who's going to be moving home soon, but she really does. She's paid for her master's degree, and she's paid for a lot. But my mother is older. She's still working from home, but she is older, and she is going to be moving close by. But my brother lives out of state, so I'm taking care of my mother, and I see her cognitive decline. So I worry about her and making sure all of her needs are met, and I'm not always great about that because I feel a little selfish. I'm just wondering when my time is for my husband and myself, especially when I feel like I'm up against the wall with my own timeline. But family is so important to me that I would never, ever change a thing. I took a cruise with my mom in the fall because I wanted to make sure that is something we did together so that we'd make memories together that both of us would remember, because we'll probably share a bedroom in a nursing home someday. 6 is I find new challenges to keep my brain functioning. And this YouTube thing has definitely been one of those challenges. But I thank God every day for each and every one of you for the encouragement and the friendships that I can't call it anything else but a friendship, even though we haven't met face to face or we haven't talked on the phone, but maybe someday we will. We don't even know where each other really lives, but this is a challenge for me to keep my brain going, and I might not be as professional as everybody else, but I do crafts. As many of you have seen my antique booth, and I just try to do different things every day to keep my brain active and healthy. The 7th thing is writing a gratitude journal. It reminds me of the good things that I have had and that I do have in my life. It keeps me focused on the positive things, and it reminds me that I am where I'm supposed to be at every time. I don't know what the plan is for me, but I am where I'm supposed to be. And if somebody needs me, I'm here. And throughout life, it gives us curveballs, but my gratitude journal, even if I can't think of one thing because I'm in the depths of a depression, I have to say I'm grateful for being able to pick up this pen and paper because I can write this. Because when that depression hits, it's like no other. It's not like being sad because, you know, a neighbor passed away, or sad because it's been yucky outside and you haven't left your house. Depression, deep depression, really, really stinks. It makes you wonder why you even live. And I'm sorry to say it, but I've been there, and it's a scary place to be. 8, taking responsibility for my own mental health by communicating with my husband and my doctors so they can help me be accountable for using my tools and staying mentally healthy. I say using my tools. So when I do get in those deep, dark places, I know what I have to do. It's just a matter of doing it. And my husband is my biggest cheerleader because he will say, let's get up and take a drive. Or I'll make dinner, but you have to sit with me. Because I get into a place where I won't go to the dinner table. And I don't know if that's partially because it's just the two of us and I don't have the chaos going around anymore. But it was scary to tell people that I have mental health problems, especially when I'd work with the police department, but yet that was so rewarding because it made me human and it made them feel okay to say that maybe they had some problems, because I don't know what other job you can go to and see such horrifying sights, a car crash or a shooting, and you take care of that problem and you write it up and you're still on a shift. And your next stop is to pull somebody over for speeding. And you have to be normal. Well, maybe you're not in a good mood. It's hard. And so many times I'd have police officers stop me and just want to talk. And I think it's because they heard my story and they heard all that I'd been through with my mental health story, and they felt that they could relate to me. And at that point, I decided that all the time that I would counsel anybody, any first responder, would be pro bono, because I wanted to make sure they were healthy and they felt comfortable talking to somebody, because there are first responders. And whether you agree with them or not, the only way they're going to be able to do their job is to be mentally fit. And I don't think people really take into account what they see every day and how they have to react. So I do pro bono work for first responders. Number 9, I've learned to surround myself with authentic people. I've had to step away from people who I feel bad around. When I feel really bad about myself, it's kind of like the internet, when you fly through Facebook and everybody's like, and I had lunch with so-and-so and my kids are the best and we did this and so-and-so is on honor roll and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I had to step away from people that I felt they didn't make me feel, because that's one thing, you choose how you feel, and I had to learn that. But I had to step away from the people that I felt so bad about myself with, because at first I thought, they make me feel so bad about myself, I can't be in that toxic relationship. It was half and half, because I realized that their life might not always be as perfect as they said it was, but I also didn't feel authentic to myself because I couldn't keep up with that. I wasn't the perfect mom or the perfect anything, and I always really beat myself up about it. So when I stepped away from it, I really started living a fuller life. The only problem is I found that I didn't have that many friends. So I joke about it, but the few friends that I do have are true and authentic, and they'll take me however I come, whether I'm sad, whether I'm happy, whether I'm cussing like a sailor. If sailors cuss, I don't know too many sailors. I used to sail at camp, but I don't think that counts. Does it? No, I did sail at camp, and then on my honeymoon, we were in Jamaica, and I told my husband, oh, I know how to sail. I know how to sail. So we took one of their sailboats out. Duh, Allison, have you ever sailed in an ocean? Well, he trusted me with his life. Guess what? I use the term come about, and if any of you are sailors, you know, come about means flip directions and like flip spaces and the sail will flip around. Well, it would say come about, and he did what I told him to, but he elbowed me in the face and I fell off the boat, and we're in the ocean. Well, thank God, not far from the resort. They had to send somebody out in a boat to get me because I couldn't get back in the boat. These were my heavier days. This is before I lost all my weight. And the life jacket kept getting stuck on the boat, and I was laughing so hard. I mean, it was funny. So to this day, I guess sailors do cuss, because I was cussing a lot that day. Sorry, you might not even find that funny, but I do. And the 10th thing is, I learned to listen more than talk. I gain more wisdom from people when I listen, and I watch people. I see how they interact with people. I admire people, or I say that's not who I want to be. But I listen a lot more than I talk. Now, I do talk. I do put my opinion in there. If you haven't noticed, I've been talking a long time on this video, but I'm trying to stay on task. It's a 30-day challenge, and I just don't want to make it too boring for y'all. But I am always a learner. I've been a teacher, and I taught school. I've taught police officers. I've taught art classes. I've taught many things. But I always tell my students, I learn something from each and every one of you. And so listening helps in everything. Listening to your spouse. Don't plan on what you're gonna say next. Listen to what they're saying and then respond. Because if somebody is saying, you don't spend time with me, you're immediately thinking about what you're gonna say. But listen to what they're really saying. Let them finish and listen to it and take a second to respond. Listening has made a big difference in my life. Communicating, relationships. So those are the 10 things that have really changed my life in the last 10, 20 years. And I'm gonna throw an extra one in there for those of us that are a little vain. Oh, and I told you nothing would happen with the hair, right? I still got this brass going on. Nothing happened with all that purple shit. Stuff. Cuss like a sailor. Shouldn't do that on my channel. But the one thing that has changed my life in the last month, and I don't even know what the name of this is because there's no name on it because I bought an off-brand. But this little machine, okay, if you go back to some of my very earlier videos, I had a huge chicken neck, right? Well, I got this little machine, okay, and it has a green and it has a red, which is warm, and I've been doing this every day, twice a day. You can do it as much as you want, and you bring your skin up. I really didn't think this would work because there's like a real expensive one on the market, and they guarantee that it works or they'll give you your money back. And they have coupons, I know, like for $200 off, and I think it's like a $400 machine. I got this for like $40, I think, on Amazon or something. But you just do this, I'm watching TV and I do this. And you guys, like, I looked back at some of my old videos. I mean, I still got this because it's from my weight loss days, so I'm gonna have it. But I swear, if you look at some of my old videos and you look at my videos now, I mean, I do all this. So this is a little warm, it's not hot. But then you can go to the blue is a massage, and it's just a cool massage. And sometimes I don't get it to do that little, there you go. But anyways, I just do it. It's comfortable. There's nothing to it. But I want you just to peek at like one of my shorts, like early on shorts. Because I swear, tell me what you think in the comments. Did it make a difference? I swear it made a difference. But let me know what you think. Also, if you want a good laugh, you have to look at my very first video. It's called Goat Love. It's when my daughter was in FFA and she owned her first goat, Hendrix. It's like a 7-minute video, and Hendrix was at the barn and she had to go somewhere out of sight at the barn, and this goat sounds like he's saying, "Ma, Ma," and he's chasing her, and then he comes right up to the camera, like, where'd she go? "Ma!" Like right at the camera. It's really funny. Anyways, I'll stop babbling because it's a 30-day challenge and I want you to watch it to the end, and I don't want to bore you to death. So thank you everybody for staying with me, for supporting me, and maybe we could do a Zoom call sometime. I know we're around the world, but as most of you know, I don't sleep. I mean, I was up till 2:30 figuring things out, trying to make an outline, and then I was up at 5:30 to let my dog out, and so that left me a couple hours of sleep. So I'd be willing to stay up around the clock to do a Zoom call with everybody and get to know each other. What are your thoughts on it? Anyways, I love you guys. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button, because it would mean the world to me. And hang in there, keep going, because I am, and you matter to me.